Leo, hello there, my beautiful friends. We're going to do your general tarot reading for early to mid-July 2024. Thank you so much for joining me today. You know I appreciate each and every single one of you beautiful people out there. So let's get right down to business as always and start you off with an oracle card just so we could dip our toes in the energy and see what's happening for the lovely Leos in the early parts of July. It's Cancer season, getting very close to your birthdays. I hope you're making plans. Get it going, my gods. Talk to me. What energies, messages, insights do we have for the lovely Leos this week, early to mid-July? And yeah, we're just going to take a real quick look at this first card. Then we'll get into the full reading itself. At the very end, I'll pull you a bonus card from the Shadowland Tarot just to see what might be in the shadows or what shadow work you can lean in on, which is always interesting. But yeah, let's get it going here. Let's rock and see what we got for Leo, please. Let's get this first card out for my good friends. What's going on early? Thank you. All right, very dreamy, lots of thoughts. Okay. And even though I always link this card to water signs, it feels very air sign-esque to me and kind of winks into a lot of the themes I was picking up last week. So there is a lot on someone's mind, that's for sure. Now, that energy could be channeled in specific ways. But before we fully dive into that, if you're new here, I'll be speaking about the July subscriber surprise towards the end, so you might want to check that out. And also, if you could kindly illuminate that like button by tapping it right on its third eye, I'd greatly appreciate it. But enough of the promo, into the reading. Let's talk more about this card. So when we look at the imagery of it, we see that lovely lady in the purple dress surrounded by the hot air balloons. It looks super etheric, and I always link this to the imaginative water sign type of vibes that a lot of you are probably familiar with. Very daydreamy. It talks about literal sleep and dreams as well. Now, in last week's reading, I was picking up a lot of air energy, a lot of thought-based, and that's kind of how this felt to me as soon as it popped out, where someone is in the mind, in their head, about something. Now, for some of you, maybe you're just daydreaming a little more than normal. It could be a little fantasizing and stuff like that as well, but it feels like a lot. It feels like a lot on somebody's mind here. So I would say find a channel for that in the coming days and weeks, whether it is through creative means, creative processes, expressing yourself, because if this energy gets too pent up, that's when it could go a little off the rails, right? So you might need some soothing, or you might need some sort of release for this energy, if we're putting it simply. So we're just going to put it down right here. And it could be very good and creative. Again, very nice for artistic things. But let's just put them down. Let's get into tarot. And I always say the first card here doesn't make or break the reading. It's just a little footnote. So let's get you 3 cards in the upright. Then we'll get into that intuitive juiciness. Shuffle it up one time here for my lovely Leos, please, my guides. And while we get this shuffled up and ready to go, let's talk about last week's reading. It was titled They Are Nervous. So you see what I mean? I already referenced it, that there was a lot of air energy. There was a lot of thought-based type of vibes. And even if it wasn't you, like if you're not anxious and you're not on edge or nothing like that, it could have been someone you were closely linked to, or even the energy of others affecting you just felt very tense and on edge. So we're going to see what shows up for you this week. As you know, energy is very fluid, never set in stone. So only take this how it hits for you, because we could be seeing your vibe or, again, somebody that you're linked to. So let's get it going. 3 cards here for my lovely Leos. What do we have? Because we are getting ready for birthday time. What do we have for my friends? Thank you. Temperance. Letting something cool off, letting something calm down could be a really good way to go. And listen, I'm a fire sign myself. I know we're all about making moves, taking action, seeing things through. But when Temperance is the first card, it's not really doing much. Even though it's fiery, let's get a couple more. What do we have here for Leo? Wheel of Fortune. Okay. So things could really start picking up rather quickly. And out of nowhere, very strong Sagittarian energy as well. Let's get one more. I do link both of those cards to Saggy. So let's get one more. All right. 10 of Swords on the back end. So that is something to watch out for. And I do feel like there could be various situations where there's a couple of ways it could go. Just like most things, like it could go either really, really good, or this could be rough to deal with. Right? So with that 10 of Swords, we'll talk about it when we get there, though. Let's go through. I'll give you some of the classical meanings and archetypes. Then we'll get into that juicy, intuitive stuff. So at first look, first glance, this is the epitome of a mixed bag. Now, I will say this. Both of these, they do link to Saggy. Fire, we have air, we have the strong Jupiter major arcana, which expands things in the center. So I could say there's a lot of things where it's like there could be a fork in the road where it either goes tremendously good or it could completely go off the rails. That's kind of how I'm picking this up. There's a lot of extremes here in the energy. So that's something that we need to watch out for. And I guess that's why we're getting temperance in the beginning. So let's go through piece by piece and really start to build it out, because these two in the beginning are very spiritual, very protected and protective. But this Ten of Swords, whenever it shows up in a spread, you know we got to keep an eye on it because it's something that might need addressing. So position number one, real quick, we have Temperance. Usually the Archangel Michael, as you see here, is depicted on this card. So when I see it, the first thing I always think is spiritual protection, energetic protection. This is a very calm, serene type of card. Now, if you're not linked to Sagittarius, this could be Spirit saying like, all right, well, don't do nothing yet, or don't do nothing right now. There could be certain things you're letting it cool off or run its course, letting a process work itself out. I mean, that could be a big thing. And I was seeing that in the Aries reading as well. Temperance can also represent to me an alchemical buildup of energy, because notice Michael is always like pouring the two cups together. So it's like, all right, something's happening behind the scenes. Something is building up. It's just not quite ready yet. It's not done baking for whatever reason. Now, when we get to the challenges of temperance, right? Like, since this is a card that's slow and patient and letting something cool off, in reverse, it's like, okay, can I get some peace? Can I even let this calm down? It's like, again, off the rails, and it's negative, and it's a negative sense. It could even show itself as impatience. So there could be certain situations where it's like, okay, well, I waited long enough. I'm done waiting. That could be a big possibility. Your patience could be running thin as well. We'll see, because I don't want to call that a challenge. There is a lot of protective energy, and I could say the same as we move towards the center, because we have the Wheel of Fortune, the luckiest card in the whole entire deck. I call this my four-leaf clover, right? And you see that wheel of luck. This does link to the planet Jupiter, which rules over Sagittarius. So again, it does have that fiery energy. And when I see this, it's very expansive. So whether it's for the good or whether it's for the rough, that's why I'm seeing such an extreme in the energy. Temperance might be the way to go with a lot of situations in this time. Like, all right, well, don't do nothing yet. Let it play out in one way or another. Now, I always say luck can be on your side when this is here. It's like Jupiter similar to a guardian angel. So you see there's this very strong protectiveness. So if you're going through a very difficult time or difficult situation, these energies in the front end, the Wheel of Fortune, Temperance, it's like kind of insulating you. Okay, so there's that energetic spiritual protection, which is nice. But a thing I will say about this being a good luck charm, aside from that, it's a karmic wheel, literally. So it could be karmic situations, cycles coming to a close. So for some of you, you might be experiencing endings or karmic shifts of different kinds, or situations in general. And the wheel moves really quick, very suddenly. So when we go from Temperance to a card like the wheel, boom, it's just going. It's moving quick. So whether it's explosive in nature or even sudden, surprising, unexpected, you know how it goes. On to the back end, though, this is something we're absolutely going to want to look into further, because we have the Ten of Swords. Now, for a portion of you, this Ten of Swords could have already happened. If you watch tarot, or if you're a reader yourself, you understand the Ten of Swords is a card of pain. As with all tens, it could represent an ending, or just something that really, really did not go right. So for some of you, maybe there's an emotional pain that you're dealing with. For some of you, it could even be physical. This card can represent endings and loss. So it doesn't always have to be the worst case scenario. But again, as you can see within the spread, we have such positive, beautiful energy up front, kind of insulating you. But at the same time, this could be a warning or something coming to a close. If it's from the past, it could be an energy that's not fully resolved. That could absolutely be a piece of this as well, where it's like, okay, well, even though things are getting better, there's just something that's not quite resolved yet. So we'll see if it's a situation. I want to dive deeper on all of it, Leo. Let's jump in and clarify. All right, let's get a good shuffle here from my lovely Leos, please. And yes, this is where I go intuitive with the message, which means I just tell you how it feels to me. So feel free to do further research or rely on your base knowledge of tarot, because as you know, every single reading is about the reader's interpretation, and I'm just giving you mine. Let's go in on Temperance, though. Why is Temperance here for my Leos? Oh, and yes, if you're a reader yourself, please feel free to play along. That's why the box is here. If you're feeling any messages you want to give to Leo, you could drop it in the comments. I don't mind at all. Okay, Temperance time. Why is it here? Why is Temperance in the mix? Okay, oh, quick. Strength. Okay, yeah, you are protected and insulated in a big way. Another very angelic card, and that's one thing I need to say to all of you, regardless of any trials, tribulations, and things you're going through, every single one of these cards in the front end are angelic and protective. Now, for a portion of you, there could be a situation where you might need to hold your ground in one sense or another. And I don't feel like this is someone that needs to stand up for themselves in some sort of way. It's just like if you make a decision or a choice, it's like hold steady, hold your ground, hold. Like, I don't know why I'm getting that message here with temperance and strength. Now, this is one of your cards, right? It is one of the ones that represent you. So obviously you see the spiritual protection linked in here. But what does strength speak about aside from the angelic energies? It's willpower. It's determination. It's also a card of who you are on the inside, your inner strength as a person. So for a lot of you, you do have what it takes to overcome some hurdles in this time, get through tough periods of time as well. So don't ever question your ability. For some of you, this could even be you refraining from something. Okay, so whether it is a conversation or an action or just something where it's like, I'm not ready to address this, or I'm holding back from it for whatever reason, because I'm absolutely seeing an energy of holding back. But if you have made a choice or a decision, Spirit could just be telling you to hold steady, hold firm in regards to something. Let's keep moving forward. Either that or someone you're linked to is doing it, but I feel for a lot of you, that's the thing. So let's go in on the wheel. Let's see what happens. Another thing I'm picking, you could just be waiting patiently on something. Like, let's wait and see. Let's see how it goes. So let's go in on that wheel, because this is where the energy takes on a big shift. So what's happening with the wheel? Okay. Six of Swords. Okay. And I wish we could cut off the reading right here in the front. Okay, because there is so much beauty in this energy we have. The Six of Swords is a card of action, forward progress, things improving, the choppy waters becoming calm, and moving forward in a very positive direction. So for a lot of you, yeah, there a lot of the things that you may be dealing with in this time, obviously they're not set in stone. Even if they feel like it, they're not set in stone. It's not forever. Your current situation is not your final destination. I don't know why I'm giving messages like this, but it's just showing up that way. Now, the Six of Swords, yeah, it could represent distance and travel. Maybe there is some sort of separation between you and an individual. But if that's not the case, when I see this card, I just think of moving forward and trying to get things right or make them better. So if there has been some action, again, it also links into the karmic wheel. Okay, and I'd really want to get to the Ten of Swords because I feel that's where it really culminates. So again, we have this extreme of energy where it's like, okay, well, this energy is solid and sturdy in the beginning. Here in the center, this is like best case scenario, something going amazingly well. So it's like a coin flip. There might be certain situations you're going through where it's like, okay, it's either going to be the best thing ever, or this is going to be a train wreck, possibly. I don't want to put that out there. I don't want to put that on anybody. So, but I'm just telling you what I'm seeing and feeling. And again, this could be something that's already gone down, something that's already happened. But I love the energy here in the center, even though it is like that karmic wheel turning. So you might be dealing with various karmic situations, or, you know, that karmic shifting really, really quick. Let's move in on the Ten of Swords, though, because I've been eyeing that up since it popped out. So let's see why the Ten of Swords is in the mix. Then we'll do a quick little recap before we get into the shadow card. So what's happening with the Ten of Swords? Okay. All right, it is very important that you don't spread yourself too thin in this time, meaning if you are dealing with a lot of things, it's extremely important for you to pace yourself. It's extremely important for you to find some sort of middle ground state of balance. I think right now that hold message we're picking up in the beginning is very important for a good chunk of you, where it's like, all right, well, now is not the time for something. Okay, whether it's addressing something or trying to patch it up, maybe you need to like partially put it in the universe's hands. But when I see the Two of Pentacles, I think of a card of harmony. Okay, it's also karmic. Let's point a couple things out here. This has an infinity symbol on it. Strength has an infinity symbol on it. We have this angelic energy. We have this karmic energy. So there is a lot of universal energy at play. For some of you, there could be a karmic ending or a karmic cycle coming to a close or a culmination. And I could absolutely see that here in the back end. But again, I think you might need to just let something process. Okay. Two of Pentacles extremely harmonious. And although this person could be juggling a lot of things, dealing with a lot of things, it could be very intense. So just know if you spread yourself too thin or just do too much, the result could be this Ten of Swords. But if you've experienced this karmic cycle closing or ending out, Spirit is saying, like, now is not the time to solve it, or now's not the time to make any sort of action. There's just a strong energy around pacing yourself and holding off or holding back from something. That's just coming up over and over again within this spread. Okay. But again, there's a lot of beautiful protective cards. It's not the worst reading in the world, for sure, even though there's like the Ten of Swords there, and I do think things could shake out in your favor. But let's go through and do a quick recap. And again, this could be how someone you're connected to is feeling. But let's go through, then we'll get to the shadow card. If you kindly look in the box, position number 1, we have this strong angelic universal energy scattered amongst this whole reading with temperance, strength, wheel, the Two of Pentacles, very universal in nature. But temperance and strength, the big thing I was picking up is like hold off, hold strong, hold back from something for the time being. Doesn't mean forever. And I kind of picked that up in the reading as well. Like, your current situation is not the final destination, so hold off from something. Okay, and there's just this strong insulation around you, protected, even if you don't notice it or feel it. Moving to the center, we have the wheel with the Six of Swords in the upper. I did say this could be the karmic wheel spinning and turning. So like the cycles coming to a close and new ones starting. A lot of you could be going through a big transformation. But again, this is something that's like best case scenario, which I really love. The one thing that we need to watch out for is, although we have this beautiful positive energy in the front, on the back we have the Ten of Swords with the Two of Pentacles. Again, I did say a lot of you, the karmic ending type of energies in the mix. Okay, and with every ending comes a new beginning, right? We always say that maybe something needed to change. But I also mentioned the fact that, like, if you're juggling too much, or you're doing too much, or you're putting too much effort into something, the result might not go in your favor. Even though the universe is on your side, if you do too much and try to control too much, that's when things could go off the rail. So let it be type of energy, or just let something process. So yeah, please take a screenshot of that. Let's see what's in the shadows for you. Let's get a good shuffle here. What's in the shadows for the lovely Leos, guides, and spirit team? What do we got? And yes, I always like to pull a shadow card at the very end just to see whether it's something within you or something you don't quite see. Shadow cards don't always have to be a challenge. They could be a good thing. So let's get you one. Oh, and yes, if you made it to this point in the reading, please feel free to check out channel memberships. I'll put a link for it in the comments below. It's a beautiful way to support the channel, and I have much love for all my channel members. Okay, shadow card time. Another thing I want to mention here, Leo, it's very possible that, like, you could be handling something way differently than another. Okay, like, I'm pretty sure that's obvious to a lot of you with temperance and strength, and then this on the other end. So, like, you might be more adaptable to something than people give you credit for. But let's get one shadow card just to see real quick. Thank you. Eight of Cups. Okay. So the Eight of Cups is a card that I often see in the shadows. Okay. Now, shadow work, shadow cards don't always talk about what you're going through right now. For a portion of you, yeah, it's very possible that there could be situations that you're wanting to move away from, walk away from, or at least are very tempted to do so when this card is in the mix. But it could also represent somebody having abandonment issue responses in this time as well. So not saying it's you, it could be someone you're connected to where they're feeling abandoned or left out in the cold when the Eight of Cups is here. Now, this card doesn't always represent walking away. It doesn't always represent abandonment. To me, it is one of the action cards. And a beautiful message that we could pull from this Eight of Cups for a lot of you is that this isn't a completion of a journey. Even though we saw the Ten of Swords within the spread itself, that was more indicative of the karmic change. But the Eight of Cups is not the final destination. Once again, like, the journey is not complete. So for a lot of you, there still might be some meat on the bone. There still might be more to whatever situations you're dealing with that need to be solved and worked through at some point. So we're just going to leave it at that, Leo. That's what I have for you this week, my friends. Don't click away just yet, though. I'm going to give you the details of the July subscriber surprise. If you would like to book a personal reading with with me, you can check out my digital calendar at my website, mastermetaphysics.com. The link is down below. But for the July subscriber surprise, I'm giving away 2 copies of another one of my favorite decks, the Wizard's Tarot. Absolutely beautiful and works great. So if you'd like to get your name in for this, it's 2 simple things. As always, my friends, first, you must be subscribed. And second, since I have the travel bug lately, let me know down in the comments what is the most beautiful place you visited in person. You'll be entered to win, and at the end of the month, the winners will be announced in my community tab. As always, my friends, much love, and I'll see you soon.